Welcome to our Tuesday, July the 13th City Council agenda. I now call this meeting to order. Our Pledge of Allegiance and invocation this afternoon will be by Councilwoman Burrs. Would you please stand?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have no special presentations this afternoon. Could I have a motion on the minutes, please? We have a motion on the minutes to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hatcher, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
The ayes have it. We have no ordinances on final reading this afternoon, so we will move right into ordinances on first reading under Parks and Public Work. Madam Clerk, 6A, please.
An ordinance closing and abandoning a sewer easement located in the 6100 block of Hicks and Pike as detailed on the attached map, subject to certain conditions.
Vice Chair Smith. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments on this item before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
So moved. Now moving into our planning items for this afternoon. John, are you joining us at the podium? Madam Clerk, if you would, let's take 6B, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone part of a property located at 1076 River Gorge Drive from R1 residential zone, RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone, and UGC urban general commercial zone to C2 convenience commercial zone, RTZ residential townhouse zero lot line zone, and R1 residential zone subject to certain conditions.
Is the applicant present? All right. Is there any opposition to this item present? Seeing no opposition to this, and we have discussed it thoroughly, Council, Vice Chair Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is in your district and with no opposition, I move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion approves 9-0. Moving now to 6C, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to lift conditions from previous ordinance number 8372, case number 1984-0235, from the property located in the 1300 block of Eli Road.
Is the applicant for this item present? Thank you. Any opposition to this item present? Would you raise your hand? All right, seeing no, the applicant is present, no opposition. Councilwoman Hill. We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion carries. Moving now to 6D, Madam Clerk.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 3914 and 3918 Webb Road from R3 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone.
Is the applicant for this zoning request present? No. Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? Vice Chair Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have not had any opposition to this case brought to my attention, so move approval.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
the ayes have it. 6E, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone property located at 2255 Center Street from M2 Light Industrial Zone to C2 Convenience Commercial Zone.
Is the applicant for this zoning request present? Any opposition? Councilwoman Burrs?
Equipment with the city. Okay, move to defer for 2 weeks till the 27th.
Till the 27th. Okay, we have a motion. Okay. You scared me. We have a motion on the floor to defer item 6E until July the 27th with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs,
Yes.
Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
motion to defer till July the 27th carries. Now 6F, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 114 and 300 McBride Road together with an unaddressed property located in the 5300 block of Linland Terrace from R1 residential zone to R3 residential zone, subject to certain conditions.
Is the applicant for this zoning request present? Okay. Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? Okay. Councilwoman Burrs, I do think this is in your district. You want to hit your light?
I was gonna hear them first, but I'll hit my.
Oh, no,
light
no,
if
no.
you-
Well, that's, do you want to hear the case? Or
So I have one question. I'd like to hear the applicant and then I want to ask him. So yes, I don't need a full case. All right.
okay, All right, we'll hear from the applicant and then the opposition will have time for rebuttal. Or their case, go ahead. Hold on one second. Would you give us 7 minutes on the clock, please?
I'm Ethan Collier and I'm the applicant. In short, we've got this property where the Benai Zion Synagogue is and intend to develop it with a residential community. We've got plans to build 25 single-family detached houses on the property. And due to some unique characteristics of the site, we have to build a common private drive to access the property. And in order to do that, we would prefer to develop the property using the horizontal property regime. And in order to develop inside the city under horizontal property regime, we have to have an R3 zone to do it. So while it is single family detached and the houses are separated by, I don't know, 10, 12 feet and looks just like a normal neighborhood, we need the R3 zone in order to do that. So.
Mr. Bridger, would you, I didn't see the final printout of everything. Did you add the conditions?
I can note that.
If you can read
According-
them
sure.
and make sure Mr. Collier agrees to them, which we've already talked about on
Okay,
record.
it's a total number of units not to exceed 25 and no more than 1 unit per structure.
Right, one, yeah,
We would agree with
single
that.
family.
That's right. And
Okay,
did you want to do a condition in regards to the color of the front doors?
I can't hear you.
Did you want to do any conditions in regards to the color of the front doors?
Yes, sir, I want them multicolored because the ones in Red Bank are
Okay.
just boring.
Yeah, I would agree. Can y'all handle that?
But we did have some people, we have a gentleman here that
Sure.
is concerned about traffic and about some other things, I believe. And so I would love to hear from him as well, please.
Sure.
Mr. Carr, you will have a 2-minute rebuttal at the end if you'd like. Okay, any opposition to this zoning request, come forward at this time. And you will have a total of 9 minutes. So Mr. IT, yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Yes, my name is Tom Rose, and I live at 16 McBride Road, which is a block away from this development. I really don't have any opposition to the development unto itself. What concerns me is the traffic on McBride Road. I've been in touch with Dr. Burse several times about potholes on this particular road. And at the corner of Hazelwood and McBride, they've repaired the potholes since 2007. And in the process, it's made it just really bumpy. And anytime a tractor trailer, truck with ladders, anything like that passes over these bumps, it sounds like a percussion section in a band. And if I'm sitting on my back patio and with company, you hear all of this clingety clang, and I'm frankly fed up with it. And I can't get anything out of her or the previous mayor or the new mayor. I've invited him to come over and help me fill the holes, since that was one of his big to-dos. And that was almost a month ago. And I have yet to hear from anyone.
I can.
Councilwoman Burrs, you'd like to follow up?
Yeah, Mr. Rhodes, he's absolutely correct. He's a regular, sends me regular messages about the potholes, and they are forwarded to our traffic department, and he has not had satisfaction yet. And I wish he'd been here earlier today, because the city was presenting, the chief of staff was presenting the fact that there are, excuse me, a lot of problems with potholes. And that's one of the things we have to do. I can't personally fill potholes. I'm not as good as the mayor at filling potholes, However, that is something, all kidding aside, that is a shame and it needs to be fixed. And you're absolutely right. And hopefully you're getting here, including the many emails that have been sent on your behalf by me. We'll get some action because all the people that are the action people are sitting right behind you. Okay, and they're hearing that. And what I heard, make sure I'm correct. I don't want to misstate anything. You're not against the development.
No.
That's
no.
what I thought. But you're saying the road is in terrible shape and something needs to be done because it could make it worse.
Because you're going to have added traffic on the road. And I frankly don't know that I could stand much more noise from those bumps there at that corner. And I proposed to Tim Kelly that I pay for the repair and then deduct it from my tax bill.
And the answer was,
I haven't heard from him.
okay, I think you deserve an answer. Hey, Brent, is Brent here? Yeah. Afterwards, I know you don't fill potholes either, but what he's saying, all kidding aside, is really true. And the man has over and over again asked to please have this stuff fixed. And it's done with a wink and a promise. And he's the mayor's chief of staff. So if you can have the proper conversation and get the action you want as far as the roads are concerned, which by the way is righteous action, you're absolutely correct. You don't have any opposition. Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Carr, you'd like to have 2 minutes of rebuttal?
A little bit of good news. Churches don't pay property tax. And we will with 25 new houses. So maybe just a portion of that could go to fix our road on McBride Road. So there will be a little bit of extra revenue as a result of the development. So maybe that'll help.
I think it's a great development. And if there's no further discussion, I want to move approval.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we take a vote?
Chairman, and just to be clear, for those two conditions noted,
Yeah, I think they were all agreed to. I just didn't know where they were. Now they're on.
Okay. We good, Mr. Bridger? Okay. All right. The motion on the floor is to approve with a proper second. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. Moving now to G.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone part of a property located at 3850 Brainerd Road from R1 residential zone to RT1 residential townhouse zone.
Is the applicant for this zoning request present? Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? Councilwoman Byrd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I've spoken with the applicant. We will be meeting on the 20th, and he agrees to defer till the 27th.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. So we have a motion on the floor to defer until July the 27th with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Byrd, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
9 yeses.
Motion to defer until July the 27th carries. 6H, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone properties located at 1401, 1403, and 1407 East 48th Street from R1 residential zone to C2 convenience commercial zone, subject to certain conditions.
All right, is the applicant for this zoning request present? Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? Councilwoman Dotley.
Nicole, could you read the certain conditions?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. Go ahead. Could you read the conditions?
All right. It's subject to the condition that it shall be used for off-street parking, single-family residential, or institutional uses only.
Thank you so much. I just wanted that on a record. Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve item 6H with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. 6I, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1920 Myrtle Street from M1 manufacturing zone to RTZ residential townhouse 0 lot line zone.
Is the applicant for this request present? Okay. Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? I see no opposition. Councilwoman Dotley.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. John, you're breezing through these tonight. Madam Clerk, 6J, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1813 East 4th Street from R1 residential zone to R2 residential zone.
Is the applicant for this request present? All right. Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? Seeing no opposition, Councilman Byrd, I think this is in your district.
Yes, sir.
What's the
And-
pleasure, sir?
Okay, thank you, sir. I have received several messages overwhelmingly to that the community would like for me to deny this request. And with that, I could hear from this, we can hear from the applicant, but this is something that the community does not want. But if the,
Sure, I think it'd be proper to hear at least hear from the applicant.
yes,
All right, would the applicant come forward? You'll be given a total of 9 minutes. I don't remember seeing any opposition present this afternoon, if that's okay with the council. Well, I'll tell you what, let's stop at 7 minutes and just check again.
Sure thing.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Josh Legg, and that's my wife Hannah, and we live right around the street at Orchard Knob, or on actually Willow Street at the corner of Fifth and Willow. And we picked up this fire damage duplex that was on the MLS at the beginning of this year. And it has 2 meters, 1,500 square feet on both sides. It's split down the middle, and it's a large home, 4 beds and 2 baths on each side. And it's currently set up as a duplex. It has the meters and everything. And so, you know, that was our first thought, was to make the cost of renovating the property more feasible, that we would maintain a duplex. And because of the purchase price of the property and the cost of the renovations, the final product was going to make most sense to remain as a duplex. And surprisingly enough, we did get a lot of traffic coming by the neighborhood. We love the neighborhood, and the community's been amazing. And that's what's a surprise. Most of the people that we've been talking to have been really into the idea of making it more affordable to as rental property, to keep it a duplex. And so that was our initial intent. And, you know, due to the, I guess, the city guidelines of vacancy for 100 days, being down zone, that's really where we got into this situation. And I will add that the back of the house has ample parking. There's a big parking pad in the back, and off-street parking is incredible. I mean, it's got the entire East 4th Street doesn't have any houses on one side. It's all Orchard Knob. So it's got plenty of parking. And I will say we have a very thorough process for approving tenants and usually are able to give opportunities to the best candidates for the neighborhood. So we believe, we believe that we would do the right thing for the neighborhood. It's our neighborhood too, and that's what we're out for.
Understand. Thank you, sir.
Let me just check once again. Is there any opposition here tonight to this zoning request by a show of hands? Okay, Mr. Legg, I am not seeing any opposition. Would you like to use your remaining 2 minutes?
I think that's everything we had to say.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you, sir. Any questions for the applicant?
No, not for the applicant. I
Oh,
understand.
okay, Councilwoman Coonrod? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Byrd?
Yes, Mr. Bridger. And I don't know if the city attorney maybe can help out with this. If I have this community is very vocal. I don't know if the young man, I definitely understand what you all are talking about. And I know it falls into the River to Ridge plan. But this community is very vocal and they elected me to speak on their behalf when they can't be here. And I've received several emails and phone calls to say that this is to be a denied situation. But to ask you, if this situation is denied, will he have, how will he be able to bring it back at any time to try it again?
So I think it's a year, it's not correct, year, not 9 months, 9 months before you can reapply to rezone.
We can reapply, rezone?
Yep.
Okay. Well, and just at this point, I have to speak for the community and I have to move to deny.
Okay, hold on 1 second. We do have Councilwoman Coonrod has her light on.
Thank you, Chair. John, does it comply with the Area 3 plan?
Yes, ma'am. Recommends mixed residential for that block.
Some concerns, and I know we, always been championing the fight about having affordable housing. To me, it seems like having a duplex, two sides would consider affordable housing, but is there another property coming up that's on East 4th Street?
Not that I'm
Oh, I
aware
know.
of. Another zoning
Anywhere.
case?
That was another property. One that was saying they applying for a setback. That's coming up.
Not that I'm aware of. Could be a Board of Zoning Appeals.
That's
You good, Councilwoman? Okay, we have a, let me go ahead and clear up the lights.
Go ahead.
We do have a motion on the floor to deny this request. Councilwoman Burrs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Am I incorrect in thinking that it doesn't have to be 9 months if council waives that?
I'm not sure about that. I know basically if you're it could be withdrawn, which means there's no timeline. But I'm not aware that council, I'll defer to the city attorney on that one. I'm not aware, because it's an ordinance created by city council. It'd almost take another ordinance amendment to shorten that time. Well, only other solution I can think of, if it was withdrawn, then it could be brought back up.
Okay, well, that might accomplish the same thing. I believe, and I'd have to check the law on that, but I think we'll look at that other thing. But Councilman, I know you're uncomfortable about this and you want to represent your people well.
Yes.
So you had a reason for asking, do we have to wait? How long do we have to wait?
Right.
And I wonder if he's thought about withdrawing.
Are you asking if the councilman has thought about withdrawing or the applicant? Yes. Okay. We'll circle back around, Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Chairman. John, I got a couple questions. Number one, this used to have R2 zoning, but because of the fire, it lost it because of not being connected to power to EPB.
In terms of being a grandfathered use, yes.
Okay, but it did originally start, and it has been converted or now stands as an R2
Well, I would say
design or duplex.
structure. Yeah, I'll call it a
Right.
duplex.
Okay, so here's where we get into some conversation. We talk about affordable housing, housing opportunities, and Now we're going to deny it because that's my question. If it goes back and it doesn't get the R2 status and stays as a single family home, then that means it will probably have to undergo extensive renovations to turn it back into a large single family home with an incredible price tag. Incredible price tag. If this house is as big as what I'm hearing, that's going to cause the neighborhood some issues on a different front. So I'm trying to figure out, are we for affordable housing and opportunities, or are we for expensive housing? That's where I'm kind of drawing the line on this one. Thank you.
Chip.
Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. Well, let me explain a little bit as well so that my colleagues can understand. Orchard Knob is a very influential area. One of the last probably influential, predominantly African-American communities. All of these houses up here are very large in scale. It's a very historical neighborhood as well. This community fights with Airbnbs taking over their community. They fight with UTC turning a lot of their communities into frat houses. And so the fight that they put up is to say, hey, we want to keep these single family homes because we want to protect our property values. We want to protect our community and we want to protect the historical value of this community as well. And so when they called and reached out to me and said these things, they were like, Councilman, this is one of the neighborhoods that we want to secure and make sure that we keep it on this R1 level because we work so hard to keep it this way. And we work so hard to keep the legacy for our children as well. So that's why they asked me to make sure that I deny this and move forward from there. So there you go.
Okay, I see no other lights. We do have a motion on the floor to deny. Do I have a second? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to deny with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill,
Yes.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
No.
Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
That's 7 yeses.
motion to deny does carry. Moving on now to 6K, please.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift condition number 1 of previous ordinance number 13502, case number 2019-0112 from the properties located in the 2600 blocks of East 19th and East 20th Streets.
Is the applicant for this zoning request present? Okay. Is there any opposition to this zoning request present? Any opposition? I do see an applicant, but no opposition. Councilwoman Coonrod?
No opposition. Move to approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod,
Yes.
Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. Now moving to L, please.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code Part 2, Chapter 38, Article 5, Division 15, C3 Central Business Zone by deleting and replacing the intent section and adding a new Division 15A, establishing new standards that supersede other conflicting sections of the zoning code.
What is the pleasure of the council regarding 6L?
Second.
We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote?
I got a note. This is the C3 text amendment, correct? And there's some changes we were trying to make to that. This is a C3 text amendment, is that correct?
John,
Yes,
is this the alternate version?
this does not say alternate version.
This
I-
is,
I withdraw that motion. I apologize. I thought this was our alternate version. So we have an alternate version that, that we had discussions about.
Hold on one
flexibility.
second. Does the seconder agree with the withdrawal of the motion?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have an alternate version, so I'm going to actually move to defer this 1 week because I think we 2 weeks, sorry, we're back on the 27th. So if you'd allow me, please, to defer that to the 27th, so we can iron out that alternate version that allows and adds in more flexibility tools for not only the council, but RPA. That's a form of a motion.
That is in the form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to defer item 6L until July the 27th with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilwoman Dudley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd.
Yes.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Motion to defer until July the 27th carries 9-0. Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you will allow me just a moment to recognize someone who I believe this might be their last meeting with us.
yes, sir.
He's way too happy about that.
So Mr. Bridger is retiring from the Regional Planning Agency, and he's been looking at that door over my right shoulder pretty hard for a while. John, I wanted to give the council an opportunity to say a few words. We did this yesterday at Planning Commission, so I'm not going to go into the 45 minutes that I had planned. But John, you have been, you've been a mentor to me, chairing this committee for 4.5 years now. We've known each other, I think, close to 20. We're friends. You've taught me a lot. You've taught me how to think objectively. You've answered my questions. You've helped me to look at things in a light that sheds fairness and equity across every zoning case, which is why my opinions sometimes come across maybe differing from my colleagues because of the training that you've given me to try to look at a much larger perspective when it comes to zoning, when it comes to planning. You have, you've just been an extreme teacher to all of us, the way you present your cases, the way you carry yourself and your professionalism. And I always feel and always have felt comfortable with having you by my side and at that podium to answer this council's questions and to work with the staff. We're going to miss you, buddy. We're going to miss you. You're a good man and you know your job and you love to serve people. And I know that you're going to continue to do that service in another capacity. We talked about that this morning, but you're leaving some big shoes. Karen's going to do a great job, I know, but your presence and your impact, something we talk about a lot on this council, is great. And you've left us with a big hole in our hearts, but we know that you're nearby and we'll see you again in other endeavors. But thank you. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for the spirit in which you serve. You've got a great crew behind you and we look forward to them stepping it up. And John, I just want to wish you on behalf of myself and this council and my committee, the best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, sir.
And just always know that we're here for you.
Appreciate that. Thank you for your
You
kind
got
words.
it.
Councilwoman Burrs.
I just want to know what email's changing to, because you're not off the hook. Listen, thank you so much for letting me learn from you. It has been a pleasure, your professionalism. When I didn't know what I was doing, I'm never afraid to ask, but you are always there to answer. And I really appreciate it. I'm not going to miss you because I'm going to keep seeing you in your new capacity and sending you emails. And I want you to still be part of all the neat things we're doing. And I think you will. Thank you. Thank you for all your service. It's meant a lot.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Not, Councilwoman Coonrod.
I was trying not to laugh, but John, we're most definitely gonna miss you.
Thank
I got your phone in my
Yes, ma'am.
Android number in my Android and the iPhone and the city phone, so I most definitely will stay in touch with you. I learned a lot from you, and I really appreciate, when I first got elected, that you really took the time to make sure that I understood things before it even came to a vote. And sometimes those meetings would last an hour because you wanted to make sure I truly understood. And, I get caught up on words, and you wanted to make sure that I understood exactly what it was saying and not voting on something that could potentially cause my community harm. So I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So just know that any questions that I still have, I'm gonna give you a call. Thank you.
Well,
Anyone else?
I gotta say by then. I gotta say something.
Councilman Burke?
I'm sorry, John, brother. I love you. You're awesome. I remember fondest memory, we was out riding around eating ice cream, teaching me the ropes. I appreciate you. You've always been a humble guy. Man, this city is losing a great asset. I don't think they understand, but I don't understand it. So I don't want you to go. Thank you for all your service. Thank you for all the compassion. And I know you threw your whole life into this job. So you were very well respected and honored, and we're going to miss you. Thank you.
Councilman Hester?
Your level of professionalism, you were very resourceful, and I guess you're very helpful. Even though I'm a neocon, city council really helped, very helpful. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anyone else?
Thank you.
Well, I was going to take a point of personal privilege as the chair once everybody got through, but John, I've always been told when an elderly person dies, a library is lost. And I think the institutional knowledge that we're losing is vast in this case. I admire your passion and your diligence that you've always shown in this job, and you will be missed, and you'll be very hard to replace. Council, that takes us through all of our ordinances on first reading. We now move to resolutions. Madam Clerk, if you would, let's take 7A and B together if there are no objections from the council.
7A, a resolution to allow the Administrator of Economic Development to apply for and, if awarded, accept the Workforce Opportunity for Rural Communities, WORC, a grant initiative for the Appalachian and Delta Regions grant from the Department of Labor for an amount not to exceed $1,500,000. Item B, a resolution to amend the Lead for America contract for year one for a revised amount of $25,600.37 and for an additional amount for year two in the amount of $31,978 for a total amount of $57,578.37.
What is the pleasure of the council on 7A and B? We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd,
Yes.
Councilwoman Dotley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. Now, if you will, let's take 7C, please.
A resolution authorizing the Office of the City Attorney to engage the various law firms listed below for legal services in general litigation matters, corporate, transactional, intellectual property, and administrative matters, labor and employment matters, planning and zoning matters.
Didn't I say 7C? I have next 7C. The mayor's office,
Yes. Item C, a resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Anthony Sammons as the Administrator of Community Development.
Councilman Ledford.
Mr. Chairman, with great pleasure, I move to approve.
Councilwoman Burrs. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve Mr. Salmons as our new Administrator of Community Development with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford.
Yes.
Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilwoman Dudley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
The motion to approve does carry 9-0. Congratulations, Mr. Salmons. Welcome aboard. Well, in your new role, you've been aboard for a long time, haven't you? All right, Madam Clerk, 7D, please.
A resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Chris Anderson as the Administrator of Innovation Delivery and Performance.
I have no lights. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Ledford's next. Councilman Ledford.
I yield to a second.
Vice Chair Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve Mr. Anderson as the new Administrator of Innovation and Delivery Performance with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Dudley.
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Congratulations, Mr. Anderson. Welcome aboard. All right, now moving on to some more important business. Under Public Works, Madam Clerk, if you would, let's take 7E through I, if there are no objection from the council. 7E through I.
Item E, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 3 for Hazen and Sawyer relative to contract number W17004-101 wet weather combined sewer storage phase 1, a consent decree project for an increased amount of $585,596.48 for a revised contract amount of $2,948,570.62. Item F, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1 final for Premium Fence LLC of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, relative to contract number R20017204 Summit of Softball Complex improvements from the Easter Tornado 2020 backstop area and outfield netting replacement for an increased amount of $36,808 for a revised contract amount of $232,280.62. Item G, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to close out project contract number R20017212 Summit of Softball Complex improvements from the Easter Tornado 2020 brick, dust, and infield material replacement with River City Athletic Fields of Saudi Days, Tennessee, released the contingency amount of $4,500 for a final contract amount of $44,666.40. Item H, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 5 with CTI Engineers Inc. with SCS Engineers as sub relative to contract number C13001-101 for professional services for landfill deficiency recommendation and repairs for an increased amount of $65,000 for an amount not to exceed $793,500. Item I, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to approve change order number 1 final for Granite Inliner LLC, formerly Lane Inliner LLC, relative to contract number W15002-201 Friars Branch South Chickamauga Creek 5 Interceptor Rehabilitation and consent decree project for a decreased amount of $1,464,977.45 to release the remaining contingency of $400,000 for a revised contract amount of $7,218,074.55.
Councilman Hester. We have a motion on the floor to approve items 7E through I with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilwoman Dottley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
9 yeses.
so moved. Now taking our planning items, Madam Clerk, J, K, and L together as a package, please.
Yes. Item J, a resolution approving a special exceptions permit for a residential plan unit development for a part of a property located at 1076 River Gorge Drive. Item K, a resolution authorizing an abandonment of a residential plan unit development for part of a property located at 1076 River Gorge Drive as detailed on the attached maps. Item L, a resolution approving a special exceptions permit for an existing liquor store change in ownership located at 5958 Snow Hill Road.
Councilman Ledford.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Two of these items are in your district, and with no opposition, I'd like to move for approval.
We have a motion on the floor to approve with a proper second. Are there any questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilwoman Dottley.
Yes.
Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Coonrod. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
9 yeses.
Motion to approve J, K, and L carries 9-0. Moving now to purchases, council, if you'll pull this evening's purchase item out. Ms. Julia? No? Chief's going to do it today?
You're stuck with me tonight. She's lost her voice.
I would rather have her without her voice. Thank you.
I don't disagree.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. Chairman, Council, we have one purchase tonight. This is the first of two renewals for a blanket contract for personal protective safety equipment. This renewal will have a price increase of 9.8% on certain lines as listed, and the total annual cost estimate is $40,000.
All right, council, you have heard tonight's purchase item. What is the pleasure? We have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's purchase item with a proper second. Questions or comments before we vote? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod. Councilman Byrd. Councilwoman Dottley. Councilwoman Burrs. Councilman Hester. Councilman Ledford. Councilwoman Hill. Vice Chairman Smith. Chairman Henderson.
Yes,
9 yeses.
the ayes have it. Now to committee reports. We'll start with Councilwoman Hill. Councilman Ledford. Councilman Hester. Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Burrs. Vice Chair Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Legislative Committee will be meeting on July 27th. We will be discussing the C3 text amendment that was deferred this evening.
Councilwoman Dottley.
No report.
Councilman Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. Today, Public Safety Committee received our quarterly report from Park, and it was an amazing report, and I thank you all for your service.
Councilwoman Coonrod.
No reports, Chair, but I do want to recognize Tom Slayton, who's been with us for 29 years. Today is his last day with the city of Chattanooga. He's retiring. Thank you, Tom, for your service.
That now takes us to other business. And for that, I will turn the floor over to our city attorney.
All right. The first order of business is the certificate of compliance for the Snow Hill Liquor Store that you just voted on. This is simply transferring the liquor store license over to new ownership, and the city of Chattanooga certifies that they are in compliance with regard to the applicants and the clean felony record for a period of 10 years immediately preceding the date of application. The applicant or applicants have a location for the business which complies as it was in compliance prior. And the applicant has complied with all local law, ordinance, and resolution adopted by these authorities regulating the number of licenses to be issued.
All right. And do you need some signatures, ma'am?
I do need 5 signatures. Are Snow Hill Wine and Spirits here? Okay, that's all.
All right. If you'll just, we'll start it that way and then bring it back down. Okay.
And as I understand, we also take a vote, or is that incorrect?
No.
Okay, just the
All you need
signatures.
is the signatures.
All right. The next one is we have 2 settlements. If you're ready to move to the second bullet point.
We are.
The first is a settlement from the Corbin Babs lawsuit that involved 3 injured parties. And we are asking you to approve a settlement of $47,000 total. That covers all 3 parties.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the settlement of $47,000 with a proper second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Ledford, Councilman Hester, Councilwoman Burrs, Councilwoman Dottley, Councilman Byrd, Councilwoman Coonrod, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson.
Yes.
That's 9 yeses. I'm sorry, 8 yeses.
Motion to approve settlement carries 8-0. All right, Madam Attorney.
The second settlement is an injury on duty in which an employee was injured, and we are asking that the council approve a settlement of $28,707.81.
Second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to approve this injury settlement with a proper second. Any questions or comments before we vote? I guess we actually talk about it, do we? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Coonrod, Councilman Byrd, Councilwoman Dottley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Burrs, Councilman Hester, Councilman Ledford, Councilwoman Hill, Vice Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Chairman Henderson,
Yes.
8 yeses.
Motion carries. All right, is that it, Madam Attorney?
It is, thank you.
All right. Seeing we have covered our agenda items this afternoon, we now come to the time in our agenda that we recognize persons wishing to address the council this afternoon. So we do have one. Madam Attorney, would you please read our rules to address the council?
Yes, if you would like to address the council, you may be recognized at the podium in the microphone here by the chairman. If there are multiple speakers, you can line up there. Please wait to be recognized and state your name and district for the council. You will have 3 minutes to speak, and you may make comment on anything that is within the legislative or quasi judicial role of this body.
Mr. IT, can you give us 3 minutes on the clock? And if you'd like to speak, if you'd go ahead and approach the podium. Give us your name and district number, please.
My name is Edward Curtis.
Would you pull the microphone a little bit to your mouth, please? Yeah, there
Okay,
you go.
my name is
So we
Edward
can hear
Curtis.
you.
I live in District 7, East Lake area. And East Lake has turned into a dump. We got 2 houses that have been burned out. One on 12th Avenue, one on 46th Street. And one been standing over a year, nothing been done. You got garbage all over the place. And I want somebody, the mayor, everybody promised to clean up the city. And it seems like it's getting worse in East Lake. And if you want low income housing, that'd be the place to put it, I think. Clean up our area, make it nice. You did something with the park. Let's finish the job. It'll look better if you do that. Thank you.
Our chief of staff is right behind you. If you would, after the meeting, would you get with him and he could point you in the right direction on who to see about the
Okay.
houses?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, sir. You're in the right spot tonight.
Yes, how you, everyone doing, City Council? Sorry for my lateness, but I came in response to the approval for,
So could I have you ask you to give your name, please?
oh, yes, my name is Wilfred Sitnor.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I was late coming to the meeting, and I came in response for the answer for the R1 residential zone to this C2 commercial zone. And I want to know what the
Tell me again, what district are you in?
what district?
What district are you in? What district do you live in? I'm not certain which, what,
It was approved? Okay, okay, thank you, sir. All right, thank you so much. Thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Josh Capellas here. I'm speaking on behalf of those who don't seem to have a voice or can't seem to make it here. It's about a trek, half a mile that way. You know, what I'm trying to do is express the concerns and needs for those in the society that, you know, don't seem to be heard. And so falls upon my shoulders, I guess, because I want to take care of those people that seem to be forgotten. So on the Statue of Liberty, it says to give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of our teeming shore. This morning, I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. I wrote something and sent it to you all, also to the mayor's office. So if you all could review that, that'd be great. I have a meeting set up with Mr. Yoda. I know it's not your last name, that's your first name, but it's memorable. So anyway, what I want to do is try to enact some change and sense of immediacy for the issues for people that don't have water access, bathrooms. I spoke with Mr. Sam Wolf, who's the homeless coordinator. And so I'm addressing simple, basic human needs that we all go through every day. We wake up, get a drink of water, brush our teeth, put our clothes on. You know, those should be clean. And then we eat and go throughout our business, right? And so a lot of these people don't have a sense of purpose, and it's called learned helplessness. And so what I'm trying to do is establish a sense of hope down there, but I cannot fall short on my promise. I made 36 burritos to pass out down there. You know, I've got free range organic chickens to feed everybody, right? And so I've also got 72 bottles of water to go pass out. And I've made friends down there who are in need. And every time it rains, you know, they have to rebuild. Every time the sun comes out, they have to find shade and seek shelter. And there are resources out there, but I see a lot of cracks, and I don't want people to fall through them. You know, we're not weeds. The people out there deserve civility and respect, and they need to have trust in the society that takes care of them. For our union is civil. Civil society is us allowing to work together. And the rich know they're rich when they see a poor person. And so at least, in the very least, they serve that purpose. And so it's upon my shoulders for some reason, because I can't sleep at night and I wake up trying to think about how I can help these people. And it's upon my heart, and I hope that that can be heard and we can address some of those issues. It doesn't take a whole lot of financial resources. Porta potties can be set up pretty quick. You know, we can address a lot of humanitarian issues that come about on a daily basis for each and every one of us. And so, you know, I'll keep coming here as much as I have to. Hopefully we can basically implement some basic things that can solve a lot of these simple problems and address some of the future problems, you know, that are more complex. But I think if we start doing something rather than nothing, that's essentially what we need to do. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? You may begin, sir.
Thank you, Council. My name is Monty Bell, the homeless journalist, the gray-haired fox. Thank you, Josh. The first time I met Josh in my encampment, he was giving out bottles of water. It was so hot that I think the son that he rides with nearly passed out in the truck. I've lost about 25 pounds because of the smoldering heat in this encampment that's right down the street that none of you have come to visit. What surprised me about Josh is that the first time that I talked to him, I gave him the directions to the city council I told him what to say when he got here. I was surprised that members of the Black community phoned me and said, Monty, do you know that they're getting ready to put a director at your homeless encampment? And nobody from the city council contacted me. There seems to be a problem with any of you contacting Monty Bell, the homeless journalist, the great Eric Fox, this intellectual thinker. I even asked on the radio today, how many Black people are now on the city council? And we still have this problem. I don't know why the city council district representative in 8 refuses to recognize Monty Bell. I was in the public eye when he was trying to be a singer. Monty Bell is known as the music man. I've sang all over the United States and foreign countries. I'm getting ready to do it again. But I've got to get out of this homeless encampment. What I have here is about 7 phones that have been drenched by the rain. I've had people in the Black community say, Monty Bell, did you abandon us since the mayoral race? How could I? Why would I? I'm Monty Bell, the homeless journalist, the man with the $10 million voice. Why would I neglect my people? Not even for the sake of those on this committee. Now, they told me years ago that the city was in the business of educating our kids and that the county had nothing to do with it. Well, it seems now that the county has a whole lot to do with who's in charge of our city by picking our city mayors. I'm tired of Baylor School, and I'm tired of Hamilton County Election Commission choosing our city mayors. You've got a lawsuit before you. Mrs. City Attorney, my pleasure. I haven't met you yet, but the first thing I did when I got to my encampment was to remove a guy that you all had targeting me by the name of John Fagan. They said that he retired, and I found him at the wellness center. Within a week, he was gone. So the problems that you all have and the attacks that comes to Monty Bell seems to follow me everywhere I go. But this time, to the tune of billions, you will pay. You have failed to concede, and you failed to recognize a person that's willing to help at
Mr. Bell,
any given cost.
Your time is up. Thank you,
And
sir.
yours will be too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else that would like to address the council this afternoon? Anyone else that would like to address the council? Just a show of hands. Council, I'm seeing no one else that would like to address the council this afternoon. What's the pleasure?